brilliant results for clients. In fact, a life insurance brand I'm working with now are spending 90% of their monthly search budget on Bing versus 10% on Google now. We've completely flipped it because of even though the traffic volume's a lot lower, the conversion rate and the return that they're getting from every click is so much higher. It makes much more sense for them to invest the money there. So it's definitely a platform and a channel that I would look to use. So what I want to try and cover today is some different techniques that we can use across the different paid media channels. So through from paid search, display, LinkedIn, Facebook, there's lots of different platforms out there now that we should all be using. So let me just show you how I actually do a presentation. So if you haven't seen me talk before, it's quite fast paced. I've got 54 slides I need to go through. It's really actionable, so I'm going to try and give you 22 different strategies. And it's quite current, so it's everything that I've used in 2018 so far this year. So I'll try and keep it as up to date as possible. What I will do at the end as well is I've put together a follow-up deck. There's loads of other things that we can do within this presentation, but I can't fit it all into half an hour. So I will send round an updated deck that's got a load more information in there as well. So just to start with, where have we actually come from? If we look at how much money these platforms have made, I know John was touching on this before, but if you look at Google's revenue growth over the years, it's huge. And every single year, consistently, that's gone up. And if we're looking at Facebook, it's a similar trend. Obviously, they've got a bit of a way to go to catch up to the value that Google are making. But that spike from 2016 through to 2017, massive, 40 billion last year. So it'd be really interesting to see where we're actually going to go with this over the next few years as well. So why do they continue to get this? Right, I don't know how many of you said that you've worked in search for 5+ years? Just a few, right. So every single year that I've worked in this industry, I've been working in here for about 11, 12 years now, so much stuff changed. I took a couple of months out to when I had a baby, come back, and the amount of things that have been reintroduced in the world of paid media is huge. Like, you cannot stop paying attention to the stuff that these companies are launching. And this is where they see the revenue growth, because they adopt, they change based on what the market is looking for. And they need to continue that revenue growth. That revenue curve cannot suddenly just drop off like that. So they have to keep evolving, adding new features and playing to the marketplace and seeing what more they can do. And as paid media advertisers, we need to do the same thing. We can't just sit there and rely on all of the stuff that we've done historically, because it just won't work. You have to keep up with the trends and the different markets that are out there and trying to use different areas of that. So one thing that I try and look at is the marketing funnel, and I've spoken about the marketing funnel for years now. So I've changed it, and I found another acronym that we can use, and people are now talking about RACE. What is RACE? So we start off, if you're thinking about how a user makes a purchase or makes a decision that they're going to make a purchase, they don't just wake up in the morning and be like, oh, I know, I'm going to get my life insurance from this company. They have to do the research, but they have to be aware of who you are as a brand first. And I think advertisers get this wrong on a lot of different occasions. They try and invest money at the stage where they think somebody's going to convert, but they forget the other bit. That awareness piece is really vital to helping you grow and maintain business moving forwards. So that's the reach stage. Next up, we've got act. So act is where we've got people that are aware of who we are as brands and advertisers, but we need them to act upon that. So we try and encourage them to do a bit of research into who we are as an advertiser. Who are our competitors? At this stage, we're trying to funnel people through from awareness, pushing them around the funnel a little bit just before they're ready to buy, which is where the convert stage comes into play. And this is the bit that most people focus on most. And then the next stage is engage. And this is, again, something that I've spoken about a few times now. People don't focus on this area enough. Like, we sit there as businesses and think, we've done all of our marketing, we've got the customer, and we leave it there. But that retention model of trying to maintain a customer in today's world is absolutely vital. Like, people do move around. If people are given a different discount or a deal or an offer that they think, oh, that's going to be better for me, they will move. So it's important that we also focus some of our paid media efforts on this particular area as well. And this is when success happens, right? If we target every single different stage of the square there, target every single person in the different areas that is where you start to get success. So what I want to do over the next sort of 25 minutes or so is share 22 different strategies that I've used this year, or I've been shown how to use, because there's some stuff that's coming out that's not quite there yet. Seeing how you can then incorporate that into your paid media campaigns. So we'll start off with reach. So something that's been used time and time again is Instagram carousel ads. Like, this is a fantastic way of actually driving some brand awareness. The targeting that you can get on Facebook and Instagram is phenomenal. The amount of things that these platforms know about our customers is huge. 55,000 attributes I've heard they hold on an individual person. Maybe not so many now, post Cambridge Analytica, we never know. But they've got a lot of data. Like, they know that we're all sat in the room together because we're logged into Facebook or we're logged into Instagram. And they start to marry things up. So, these people have spent a couple of hours in the same room. They know that we've got a similar interest in whatever's happening here. So they start to use all that insight. And something you can do with the carousel ads on Instagram is put video content in there, you can put normal static images, and it just follows through and helps you to sort of push out a new product or a new service or a brand. Native ads in Google Discover. So Google Discover was Google Now, previously Google, someone help me out, what was it called? It's the tile blocks when you go onto a Google, what's it, well, I can't remember. Anyway,
Google Home? No, not Google
no. Something, let's go with that. So it went from Google Now and it's now Google Discover. So they've rebranded all of these different platforms. And this is something that somebody has seen on a few occasions now. We're seeing adverts popping up in here. That's something that's not been there before. All of that's been organically fed previously. This will give us an opportunity, if they roll this out to everybody, to reach a whole new audience in a whole new landscape that we've not been able to reach them before. So, as I say, this isn't out yet, but it has been seen. So they're probably testing this on some small scale, but being able to target people when they're just browsing through the newsfeed will be really, really powerful. Something else that's very interesting for Bing is they finally made a decision to take advantage of the fact that they hold all of this data on LinkedIn. So what we can now do in the US is to currently in beta, and it will be rolled out to the UK, is we can say, okay, somebody's searching on Google, searching on Bing, and they work in a particular industry, or they work for a specific company, or they've got a specific job title. If somebody is coming and doing a search on Bing, what we're now able to do is say, okay, let's bid higher for that person because we know we want to reach that industry, or we know we want to reach that job title. Likewise, we can also bid down. So if there's a certain demographic in terms of job function, company or industry that you don't want, you can apply a negative bid adjustment. Say, I don't want to reach these type of people. So it's just a way of us using LinkedIn via Bing to try and really power that search more. Outstream video ads, so this is all this, similar to what we've got with YouTube. And what we can now do is have that video content on other partners' sites. So the video ads that are powered by YouTube are being displayed on this third-party sites, which just gives you a whole host of bigger audience to sort of play with and try and get your brand out there a bit more. Knowledge panel ads, so we're starting to see these a lot more now. So when someone's searching up here, you're starting to see adverts appearing in here. So when's this going to change? How many more ads are we going to start filling over here? That's something else that we're starting to see roll out a lot more. Apple search ads as well. If you've got an app that you're looking to promote, these are what you should be using. Like if you've got an app on the App Store, using Apple search ads to try and encourage more people to download it, key. Like, they give you so many demographic insights for this particular platform, so you can start to see who's downloading your app, and then target similar people to that through here as well. At the act stage then, so this is the follow-up stage from where we've got the people who are trying to drive some awareness of who we are as a brand. Something that I've played with this a little bit, and I've seen some positive results for some brands, not so much for others. But what Google have come out with is their version of responsive search ads. Does anybody use these? So in Google, when you're putting together a PPC campaign, you've got 3 different headlines now that we can use and 2 different descriptions. And what Google are now saying is, okay, so when you're going out and doing your testing to see whether this advert works better than this one, it can take some time. So what they've come up with is responsive search ads. And now what you can do is you can put in loads of different headlines and up to 4 different descriptions. I think it's 30 headlines. And it basically acts like a multivariate testing of a website, but for ads. So it will sit there and say, right, let's put that headline together with that one and that one and that one and that one and that description, and it merges everything in lots of different ways. So you can scale this out across your account and work out which ad formats work best, which ad text works best for you. Now, it does work. You need to use this carefully. If you can see, like at the top here, you've got all the different ad headlines. If those ad headlines don't work well together, your ads will start talking gibberish. They won't make any sense whatsoever. So everything needs to be able to be married together in order to make these work. What else have we got? Bing Ads security badge, I've seen somebody talking about. So when we're talking about a secure website, over here, what we've got, where is it gone? I can't see it.
Second one down.
Thank you. Site Secure by Norton. That, for a user, when they're searching, if they're not aware of what online marketing is and what the web is, that to me, like if my mum was searching, she would click on that over the top ad because she's like, oh, that one's secure. I'm going to click on that ad. So it's these type of things that are starting to come into Bing as well now. The ad message extension on Google. I've tried this so many times to get it to work, but what you need to have is what you used to have is a mobile phone at the end of the message. So when someone hits their text this number, you have to have somebody there replying and an actual physical phone there. That's not really worked for anybody. So what Google have now done is they've come out with the same feature. If somebody hits a text message, it sends that business an email. The business can reply and it goes back into the phone. So it's a really good way of having that kind of instant communication with a customer directly from the search results. And you can set up automatic forwarding. You can set up these differently for different campaigns. So the different reply that you give will be based on what campaign they've come in from. So these have only just started rolling out, but it's definitely worth a play with. Lead ads from Facebook, again, these have been around for a while now. But if you've not used them, I would highly recommend giving them a try. They're a really quick way of just building up your data. And off the back of that, you can actually remarket to people that have engaged with the form. So it could be, I don't know, let's say you've put a form out, so you're trying to get people to download a white paper or some content, or even sign up to come to an event. If people open the form and engage with it but don't complete it, you can then market to those people differently to the people that have never opened it, who have hovered over the screen, or the people that have engaged with it completely and filled in the form. So you can build up different buckets of audiences and sort of try and funnel them through. If they've expressed an interest by opening the form, try and encourage them to complete the desired action. Bing intent ads on MSN and Outlook is another thing that's being rolled out across the UK at the moment. So this is where Bing are taking the search query data that they know for lots of different individuals that are searching and saying, well, if they're searching for this type of stuff, then we kind of know a little bit of insight about that particular individual. So then they're displaying ads on MSN and in Outlook that are related to that intent of that person's search. So it's a similar way to what Google have done with another example, which I'll talk about in a moment as well. But it's taking that search intent and pulling that search intent over to their forms of display ads that they've got on the platforms here. So moving into the convert stage. So as I said earlier, this is the area where most people focus. And you will get the biggest return because that's where you're trying to focus your efforts and you're trying to target people when they're just about ready to buy. But missing out those top 2 steps, you're missing out a huge percentage of potential customers. So it's important to focus on everything as well as this stage as well. So some ideas for the conversion stage. Local search ads. Who remembers when these came out? Like a few years back, we had no ads in here, and local businesses were able to optimise the local listing feeds, lots of organic traffic coming through. Google was like, we can monetise this. So a couple of years back, they came out and said that they would put one advert in here, the one at the top. We're now seeing 2. My prediction in however many years, maybe next year, could be the year after, this will all be monetised. They did the same with Google Shopping. It used to be Google Base and Frugal. Upload product feeds and we get loads of organic traffic through from Google Shopping. The whole thing is now paid for. So this, for me, when they're looking to grow that market share and increase the revenue curve that they've seen, is a very obvious place for them to start to monetise more. It's quite good for smaller advertisers as well, so smaller local businesses that may not have been able to compete in that particular space, they can now pay to play. So it's just one to pay attention to, because I think this is going to evolve over the next couple of years. There's a new design that they've rolled out. I don't know if anyone's seen this for the hotel search results. So what Google have done this year, they've made the hotel ad option an actual standard campaign type in Google Ads now. So hotels can put in their hotel and start to advertise on here. So they've opened it up, they've widened their reach in this. So they've launched this new design for their hotel search results. But the thing from a PPC perspective is the ad box that you're seeing on an actual hotel listing has suddenly grown 2-fold. So it's taking up a vast majority of that landing page for a particular hotel. So in here we've got the Marriott, we've got Booking.com. So they're making Marriott are actually having to pay to advertise on their own hotel listing. So they're Marriott doing all of this, and then they could still go to Booking.com or Hotels.com or Expedia. But this is another area where they're trying to sort of dominate different marketplaces and show ads on your own listing that you're sort of there for anyway. Google local campaigns. So Google have, I know John was talking earlier saying about how everything's going to get a lot more automated and more based on audience data. Google local campaigns is one of Google's more recent smart campaigns that they've launched. So this takes lots and lots of data, lots and lots of insights that they hold on customers of Google, and they show them ads on all of these different channels natively, so it can move around depending on what sort of platform that you're on. And the sole goal of these campaigns is to drive footfall into a store. So they only start to show ads to people that they think are going to complete that desired action. So they're not trying to funnel people through to the website. It's all about getting people into an actual business. These came out earlier this year, so it's something, if you've got a local business that you're trying to drive footfall into, it's worth having a look at these ones. The other thing that Google have done with their whole rebrand is they've got lots of other channels that we can marry Google Ads up with. And Google Optimize is one of them. Now, if you've got a website, you're like, okay, I've done all of this work, I'm driving really relevant traffic through to the site, and the site doesn't convert great, or the landing page doesn't convert very well. And you don't necessarily have the resource, or the developers in-house are absolutely stacked with other projects. If you're using something like Google Optimize in power with Google Ads, you can make some changes to the landing pages so that you're not just reliant on developers. You can make some changes and say, well, okay, we've driven the traffic through. What if we were to flip this page a little bit and put this bit here? Can we try and increase the conversion rate a little more? Once you've got that data to then back up the fact that you've done this campaign and you've seen some impact in results, you've got more of a business case to then push that forward and get that rolled out across other pages and sections of the site. LinkedIn carousel ads is another thing that we're starting to see some good results with. So B2B for LinkedIn is really, really powerful. It's expensive. So LinkedIn ads are, if they're done in the right way and you invest the time to set them up properly, they can work well. If you don't, they will absolutely cost you a fortune. But what we can do with the carousel ads is similar to what we see on Facebook and Instagram, really. Start to showcase different products and services and target that using the targeting features that LinkedIn offer. Who hasn't got the LinkedIn pixel on their site at the moment? Okay, right, so there's a few people. The LinkedIn pixel will actually give you insight into who the companies are that are viewing your website. So, and it's free. So you can put this pixel onto every page of the site. If you're using Tag Manager, get the pixel put onto every page, and it starts to collect data. And you can start to then say, well, okay, I'm going to segment my traffic for this particular section of the site, or this page, or this section, and go into the insights area of LinkedIn, and it will tell you, okay, these companies have landed on the site in the past 30 days. So it just gives you some, if in B2B, this is really, really valuable. It's data that you can then pass on to your sales teams to then actually pick up and run with that data as well. The custom intent audiences, a true view for action, is Google's version of the, what are they called now? The Bing custom intent ads. So in here, what we can see is somebody's done a search for financial advisor on Google. They've looked around the search results. Maybe a day later, same day, a couple of days later, they then head over to YouTube. Google are marrying that search up, so the search intent that they've seen on the search platform, up with YouTube, and they're showing them a similar related advert across here. So it's one of the pre-roll video ads that we're seeing on YouTube is related to the person's search query that they've done on Google. So it's about tying up that user's journey from search through to video, through to display, and trying to then encourage them to buy. So onto the engage stage then, which is the last area. There's obviously another part to this where we can talk about how we can get customers to recommend us to friends and everything else, but that's a whole nother talk in there. But a few examples of things that we can do at this particular stage once we've got that customer and how we can then encourage them to stay. So what we can do is, let's imagine we're Direct Line and car insurance. We've had loads of people sign up for the car insurance, taken out a policy in November 2017. Car insurance renewals are where car insurance companies make the most money. So they don't necessarily make a huge amount of money in year one, it's year 2, year 3, year 4, so subsequent years. Unless you're sort of online and you're savvy and you're sort of swapping your car insurance around, people just continue to use the same policy. My dad had the same car insurance policy for 10 years, had no idea he'd done that. Changed it and it literally split, his car insurance policy went in half because he switched providers. But he didn't know. But there are a lot of people that do continuously try and search and find a new provider. So if we take a list of all of our customers that have purchased the policy in a particular month, we know that maybe come October 2018, if they've taken out the policy in November 2017, if somebody's then going back to Google and doing a subsequent search, or Facebook, they're starting to look through their news, they're looking through the news feed, what we need to do at this stage is hit them with an advert to try and encourage them back into the site where they've got their policy already and encourage them to stay again. Because if we're seeing somebody searching for the word car insurance again, we know that those people are going to be interested in looking around, shopping around again. So don't let them. Offer them a discount, try and encourage them back in to buy from you again. Click to WhatsApp. This is something that we're starting to see being rolled out. So on Facebook, what we can now do, if you hit send a message, if somebody's got WhatsApp, it will open up a WhatsApp window. And you can start to have a conversation with your existing customers. Try and promote a loyalty scheme. Ask them how they're finding a product or a service. Keeping those conversations going with existing customers is where you're going to win moving forwards. And this is, it's quite interesting because Facebook haven't really used the WhatsApp merger yet. They say they don't use any of the data. They say they don't read conversations. I would beg to differ that. They completely hands on heart say they don't do it. But I've started screenshotting so many different examples of things where I'm seeing adverts. I'm like, there is no way in the world that they know that I've been interested in that, because I've not done any searches online for it. Like, there was one example, I'm going to go and do some stuff where I'm feeding the homeless in a local place near me in a couple of weeks' time. Going to make some meals for them and sort of just go out and take them out. I then start seeing ads from Shelter, literally the day after. So there's, I don't know, and I hadn't done anything online about this, it was just through conversations. So it's like they're listening into, and they are, like they've got the, if you look in the T's and C's of WhatsApp and Messenger, they've got the microphone switched on all the time. So, I don't know, I think that's something that we will start to see over the coming years. Like, that intent of what we're having conversations about and then delivering ads as a result. I've seen this so many times, so it's going to be interesting to just keep an eye out on things that you've actually had conversations about, and see if you start to see ads off the back of it as well. Likewise with WhatsApp, we can also do click to messenger ads as well. And this is a really cool example I've seen from a brand where you buy online and then they have a constant flow of communication post-sale with you. So in here they're saying, thanks for shopping with us, here's the URL for the product you bought. They then send you another update, say your order's on its way and you've got the tracker in there. And then they ask you, what did you think of the product? So it's a great way of taking that person from buy to being a kind of a friend of the brand and getting them to then recommend you to others by writing a review. So it's trying to funnel that all the way through. And then you can use that data and say, well, okay, well that person's purchased this item, or this product, or this service. We know that people also like these type of products or services. So why don't we use this as a platform to say, try and upsell them, cross-sell them to a service that you offer as well. That's kind of a whistle-stop tour of some of the stuff that you can do in 2018. As I said, I will put together a deck that's got a load more information in there for you as well. But just a few final words before we wrap up. It takes around, and this is generalising, 6 to 8 touch points to generate a sale. I've looked in a PPC account recently for an e-com business, and they basically had somebody click on 56 different campaigns, 56 different ads before they converted. And in an old attribution world, we're looking at this and thinking, oh, that last click there, that keyword has driven a really good looking sale there. But when you marry all of that data up together, your actual cost per acquisition is huge. So 56 different clicks on ads. That doesn't incorporate everything that they did organically, direct, via email, via social, just in Google. So that cost per acquisition was huge. So it's important to take note of that and make sure you're paying attention to the journey that someone's taking and add those costs up, because that's what your true cost per acquisition is. And that's where we come on to the attribution model side of things. So just using last click, we need to stop. Like, we have to use an attribution model that attributes the value of a conversion across the user's journey. Otherwise you could start A, switching stuff off that's actually leading somebody to convert, or B, thinking your campaigns are working really well when they might not be performing as well as you expect them to. The reach campaigns, so the campaigns right at the very start of the funnel, they are not designed to drive instant results. Like, we can't sit there and think, we're going to do a big branding campaign and we're going to get X amount of revenue back off it. Of course you're going to get some, but it's not designed for that. So we just need to make sure that KPIs that we set are aligned to the different stage of that funnel. Focusing on everything is where we will get results, but we need to be patient. Setting expectations for CEOs, business owners, is absolutely key here. So the way that I typically will approach a strategy is I'm like, right, okay, we need to get the buy-in from everybody. So let's focus on the convert stage first, and then let's funnel our way back up. So we're not just trying to go, let's do all this brand awareness stuff, because you're not going to get the buy-in moving forward. So you need to move yourself back up that funnel, rather than just focusing up here and then trying to funnel people down. Think about race, and that's it. Thank you.